Yes, in the previous video, I talked about pornography and how I suffered for like so many years, like 1.5 decades. I suffered for that stuff, instead of meeting people. So one thing I wanted to also kind of like put on the table was that, is that actually present sense, right? That my mom, like it was one of the reasons were that like I didn't feel like my mother really loved me, So that is also what like I want you guys to be aware of, like does your mom love you? Like for me, it felt like she was there in the house, she was next to me, but I didn't feel that she loved me, And again, like the same childhood friend that I mentioned in the previous video, like the one who gave me a pep talk about, hey Jin, we need to change our life. That guy also one day went up to me and like, hey, does your mom even love you, Like she doesn't seem like she loves you. And we were both like teenagers, we didn't have this awareness to figure out why and stuff like that. We just like, He was just asking the question and I was just like numb, frozen down again, because years and years and years of shut down behavior from my parents. So when I finally started to wake more and more up and do a lot of trauma shedding and healing, one of the things that I had to address were my lovely mother, like, and there are different ways to do it, like, because I was like, I want, like my inner child, like this youthful child that everybody carries, right? It's like, like it wants its mother, it missed its mother so much. That's why I've been sucking at dating, and especially, with the females, it was just like a non-existent. I was afraid. I was very, very afraid of females. So again, like when I started to wake up and I was like, okay, one of the things is that I needed to connect to my mom. And then at that point when I started to wake up, I was also fortunate because my mother, like my parents, they had a divorce, and my mother, she bought her own property, so she would have much more time. She didn't need to do all the house chores at the same extent as when she lived with my father. So yes, I was lucky, and I started to talk to her more and more and more. So that's one of the ways you can regain this mother love, and you can store the love within you, like regain the love, because it's never too late. It's never ever too late. You can do it, right? So I started to like talk to her, maybe indirectly. In the beginning, I was not aware, I was not good at conversation and stuff like that. So I just like straight on, like, hey, why didn't you love me? I confronted her. It was the wrong way. It's the wrong way. But everything has a start, right? And you learn from everything. So and then after some education, started to educate myself, like, mom, man, like, okay, let's talk. How was your upbringing? How did you meet your dad? I started to like have more and more fruitful conversations, because also I had to respect my mother, because my mother, she didn't want to go back to that time, right? So I started to like just talk to her and do stuff with her, right? So now I kind of live with my mom and try to give her, so one of my routines is just stay with her, just spend some time with her, ask how she's doing, say good morning, good night, all those kind of things. Like try to tune in to what she likes and what she loves and stuff like that, and just be there for her, help her, just be a good son, right? And do stuff with her, right? So she doesn't end up doing those things just by herself. And if you don't have that option, like you can talk to your mother, then one way to release, one way to heal is also doing the inner child shadow work, right? So the inner child shadow work is basically like you are a child that you basically, like this child that we all carry, and because of the lack of love, the lack of perceived love, right? Let's say, put it that way, the lack of perceived love, non-expressed love, that child, this young person we have within us, might feel like it is not worthy of love, right? It is just in a dark place, that is not fun to be there, right? So the way you do it is basically just breathe in all the way down, breathe in all the way down, and then you take this child to your consciousness, just breathe in, just put some meditation music on, visualize this child. I have a whole course about it, and I will have a whole course about it in school. And then you bring it to your consciousness, and then you hug this child and let this child know, while you're glowing of love, I love you. You say that to the child, I love you, care for you, I'll always be there for you. or love you or care for you, always be there for you. That is the trick, and then you dissolve together into oneness, into this one thing, the universe, into the forests that you see here, You just dissolve into it all. You are everything, everything that is created by everything, everything and nothing at the same time. So that work I've been doing a lot of time. Another one is like if you don't have access to your mother. Like I met someone who just he doesn't have any access to his mother, right? They don't see each other. Like one thing is also, this might trigger you. Just imagine your mom. Imagine your mom as just standing there, right? And then again, do the same technique. And this time you just imagine hugging your mother, right? Or hugging the child version of your mother, right? Then it's easier to forgive. Like with my father, like you've done a lot of things, but imagining him as a child is much, much easier. And then you hug this child and love this child and bless this child, right? So yeah, like not having my mother, wow, was super, super crazy, like I was addicted to so many things, like pornography and like woman that I was with, I was like, wow. Well, I'm like, what is it that I'm doing here, Because I was like, okay, she can give me love, or the pixels on the screen, porn, that can give me love, all this fake love. Wow, man. It was just like, because you don't know how to set, like imagine that, right? Like you don't have your mother and your father is just shutting you down. You don't even know how to like set boundaries. So you meet this woman. In my case, I was with one woman I met, right? And she just rushed everything in a way. Like she said, okay, now it's just you and me. And I couldn't say no. I wanted to say no. She said like, now you're my boyfriend, right? And I couldn't say no, right? And she's a lovely girl, but then at one point she started to change. She started to call me all kind of names. Oh, you idiot, you're a fool, you're blah, blah, blah. She started to disrespect me. But again, my nervous system froze. Because of the lack of love I haven't had from my mom, it made me accept this in a way, right? So I just put together with it, and it just went very, very south from there, like wow, it was not a good engagement, you could say, with this woman, right? Because I didn't know how to do it. For example, today, I would never ever let that happen, because I feel love, I'm worthy of love. I have a relationship to my mother, and even again, like you don't need that, right? Like, because not everybody has access to their mother, right? But you are so loving, you're so glowing, you're so happy. Like, for example, you're here in the forest and you're like, wow, this is amazing. We are blessed. I am blessed. We are blessed. We're all blessed. I am everything, right? Like, when you tap into that, then nothing can really stop you, Like, for example, with the love thing, right? The love case, it's like you set boundaries. You're like, don't ever talk to me like that. I don't want you to talk to me like that. This doesn't associate with me and my energy. Like I have my inner child. I need, even though everyone is one, we are different fractions of that one, right? So it doesn't mean we have to put together with every kind of crap, even though we are that guy, right? Okay, that guy is suffering, is a version of me who's suffering. That woman is a version of me who's suffering. It's all right. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I was also with I want to tell this other story, right? It's a crazy story as well. Like, it's this woman, this girl that I meet in this random supermarket, like a small supermarket. I'm just going out on a Sunday, meeting this woman. You're like, wow, she was so pretty and blonde, like normally I'm not into blonde and blue eyes, but she just caught me, and she was working. She was a barista. She has like really nice barista clothes on, apron and stuff like that, right? And then what happened is that I'm surprised, because blondes, I'd never really get along, with the blondes. I've been with dating them and stuff, like I've been together with them, but it's not just my taste. But they're hot blonde, somebody who's like woof, where you're like, wow, okay. That at that time I haven't had that experience, as I remember, maybe one or two before her, but yeah. So I was very surprised, that she wanted me and she was so available for me, right? and she was spiritual, cared about, nutrition, fitness. She had the package, but then at that time the more I went in, she got more very, very, how can I say? Yeah, she just wanted me, where I was like, whoa, this is going too fast, for me. I was like, hey, hold the horses, and at that time she also had breakdowns, like while I was seeing her just breakdowns. Like, whoa, I can feel like, whoa, this is a bit too much. I don't want to date a client, right? Like, I cannot just date a client. That's not gonna work, because I felt like, because at that time when I was seeing her, I was starting to do the coaching, starting to help people with the outer layers of psychology, right? Like how to go out, how to talk, how to socialize, the outer game, right? So I was slowly going into the inner psychology because at that time when I was coaching people, I also saw that there were these raw emotions coming out, and then I started to catch on those. I was like, wow, this is more interesting, actually, a little bit more interesting, right? So when I saw her and she was like showcasing all this, and she was having these breakdowns, I was like, this is like too much, and she was like hating everything and like hating her life, and it was like, wow, it was too much. Like, maybe you have experienced that, you are with a woman, or even a friend, if you haven't really dated, and you feel like the energy is so bad that it is like you have to put together with it, and it also affects you, because you're used to it every single day, and you cannot put a boundary, you cannot say anything. Of course, people can trigger something within you, but it doesn't mean that, I'm with this person. It doesn't justify that you should be with a person just because, that it triggers something within you and you can release it, That is not the case all the time, because it's not fun to be with somebody. Okay, then you can be with the abuser and then just let him abuse. Yeah, okay, he abuses me and then he triggers something in me I can release. Okay, no, it doesn't function like that. So I said it, and like with this one, I was dating her for some time, and then I had to follow my heart, I had to follow my brain, I had to follow my intuition, because I've just felt like I have to go somewhere, right? There was a next chapter waiting for me, and I couldn't say no, and I was quitting my job, and I was like, I wanted to follow what felt right for me, follow what the universe really wanted for me, right? I wanted to do that. And when I said that to her, I haven't even dated her for that long then, she didn't respect it, She was so much in love with me, and I don't blame her, look at me. I don't blame her. But anyway, yeah, that's how love is, right? I would have probably done the same if I were in her shoes, right? I can imagine me doing the same. Then I said no, and then she just started to hurt me, He started to hurt me low-key, maybe without knowing, but she said to me like, okay, you're going there, but just as you know, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be with other men. I was like, what? Why are you telling me that? Why are you telling me that? It's just information that we are not together, right? Why are you telling me that? And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna, just as you know, Jen. And she goes into details, like how, right? Like, how's she gonna meet them? She's like, I'm not gonna meet them on dating apps, but I'm gonna meet them in real life. I was like, oh man. And she had some crazy trauma, like, wow, some unfathomable trauma, right? Like, for example, she tried to hide that, non-consensual sex, right? Let me just put it that way. So she had a lot of things, it's just like we were so far from each other, it would be me being her therapist. Like, it's not gonna work. So guys, look out, watch out there, Same with females, it also goes the other way around, because of many, they just stay far too long because again, like then they're like, okay, this is what I can get. They just settle for less, like they know it's not gonna work out. And then they just stay with this person, and become their therapist. It's not worth it. It's really, 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 really not worth it, I tried to help someone I was with, you know, but it just didn't work, you know. But I did it in a much more tolerable level until I'm like, okay, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. I value my freedom, I value my peace, I value my energy. I follow my heart. Let me listen to my heart. There are better matches out there for me. It's just a matter of time. So all this lack of love, you know, that has an impact to this. That I've met broken women and I couldn't like set my foot in the ground and say no, setting boundaries and stuff like that. Ending up hurting myself more and ending up hurting these women more. So I'm happy today, you know, because I started to talk. I have my mother for myself. I can talk with her and I can bond with her. I can go deep with her just on her own pace, because my mother, she has this thing about therapy, deep talks and stuff like that. It's a taboo in Sri Lanka, right? That something is wrong with you. That is the mind she has. But that's why you have to like talk in a different way, so it doesn't feel like you, again, like don't even in the family relations you can have that relationship, you know. So just calibrate it and don't mention therapy, don't mention all that kind of stuff, right? Unless they're open for it themselves. I met a friend this weekend and he was open for therapy, and I was like speaking to God, let me just put it that way, and God was like, let him speak out, let him open up about it, don't you do it, you know. If he doesn't bring it up, fine, it's not meant to be, you know. And then he brought it up, super magic moment. So same with my mom, you know. So now again, going back to the story, like I'm so happy that I connected with her, and we have this beautiful, nice, amazing conversation. We smile and laugh at each other. We even do like fist bumps, you know, sometimes, and like high fives, and we're like a team now, me and my mother. And I try to help her every day. She's helping me every single day. She's so generous, my mother. So I'm very thankful for my mom. And it really, really helps with the love, you know, with the love that I have for my inner child, and building up the love and protecting myself and making the right decisions out of love. And keep doing what I love, you know. It's so amazing. So again, that is my story. That's the video. If you have the chance to do some of the work, some of the inner work, do it. If you have the chance to just talk with my mother, as I did, do it, you know. We only have one mom at the end of the day, right? And again, spiritually speaking, we have every mom. We are our own mothers, spiritually speaking, if you can take it that far. Yeah, that is it for now. Okay, all the best. Okay, stay curious. Peace.